So, hello everybody, and welcome to Hello, It's Better to Talk. Whether you're picking up on a Wednesday or whether you're picking up later on in the week, you're warmly welcome to this channel. Now, here we talk about the stuff that you don't always talk about. And one of those things I thought would be great to do as it's autumn and we're all starting to settle into our homes is thinking about clutter and what's kind of hanging over us. You know, we talk often about a spring clean, but I think an autumn clean could be quite a good idea for all of us. And I was watching the James Bond No Time to Die. That's what it's called. My book's called No Place to Lie, so No Time to Die. And there was a great scene at the beginning where they're getting rid of the kind of emotional clutter. So he and his girlfriend, and they think of all the things they want to let go of, and they write something down on a piece of paper and set fire to it and let it off into the sky. So I think, you know, clutter comes in all sorts of ways: emotional, physical, and in all sorts. Yeah, well, I'm no expert, and I'm so pleased to welcome Janine McDonald of Clear the Clutter Now. Love your hair, Janine.
Thank you.
And you're based up in Manchester, aren't you?
I am, yes. Yeah.
So, Janine, tell us what you do to so that we could live more clutter-free Zen lives. I mean, I'm actually embarrassed now about all the books that I've got. You've got this lovely wall. So,
well, you have got most of the books stored the right way, which is vertically and not horizontally.
Right. Okay. Well, okay. There's one or two there. I'm in here. All right. So tell us about clutter and tell us what it means in our lives.
Clutter, as you just said, can come in many, many forms. It's emotional, it's physical, it's material, it's digital.
Digital. Oh, gosh, now we're talking. Right. Okay.
Yeah, because things now are coming at you from all different directions. Yeah. And if you just think about, for the digital clutter, how many emails you get a day when you don't feel like you've signed up to anything.
Yeah.
But, you know, you get about 20, 30 each day and you're like, where are these coming from?
Yeah.
So it's like that unsubscribing. Well, how did I subscribe in the first place? And it's very, very easy now, especially when, you know, if you go shopping and you buy something and say, oh, would you like an emails receipt? Thinking that it's like, what they don't say is, would you like an email receipt? And that will put you on our marketing mailing list.
Right. Okay.
As when you have a piece of paper and you sign the form, there's always the little box at the bottom that says tick if you'd like to not receive information.
Yeah. Yeah, which is almost like a counterintuitive thing, isn't it? So
yes,
because the default is you get more in your email box, and we're probably all suffering from that.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
And that then can bring on the mental clutter. So much going on around us at the moment, so much in the media, so many things we all need to do. We're juggling so many different roles and responsibilities now.
Yes.
And then you've got the material clutter as well, which is all your possessions, your physical possessions.
Yeah.
And some of those you might have had for years, decades, all your life. Others constantly wheedle their way into the home and don't actually leave again. No. And that can be from kids bringing the books home from school to kids leaving home and leaving half the stuff at the parents' house.
Yeah.
And then that gives, you know, the parents then struggle because they've got this house now that they want to make work for just them, but they've got half the kids' stuff there as well. And it's things like all the freebies that you get.
Yeah.
You know, if you go for fast food, you might get a free toy.
Yeah.
How long does that last?
Yeah.
How many pieces does it have?
Yeah.
You know, so
and do you dare just chuck it straight in the bin? Or do you kind of keep it for a little while because it's a gift, and you know,
it depends what it is. Yeah, it depends what it is. With gifting, if you're receiving a gift, the person who has gifted, that's their responsibility and their choice done.
Right.
So they've chosen the gift, they've done the act of giving it to you. It's now yours. And it's now yours to decide what to do with.
Oh, now this is nice. This is kind of like getting a bit of control Yeah, because sometimes you just, I remember my first marriage, I got like people would say, oh, we've seen the wedding list, but we want to give you something really special. And then 4 people bought us crystal bowls, like something really special, which I didn't want in the first place. But
but then you feel like you have to keep them.
Exactly. Because
and you feel like you have to have them on show.
Yes. Yeah.
Because when they come round, it's like, oh, I've got to have that out because they bought it for me.
Yes.
But that was their decision.
Right.
To buy you something that wasn't on that list.
Yep.
So in a way, they're taking a risk because they don't know whether it was your style.
Yeah.
If you will, like you said, it's difficult.
Yeah.
But once the gift has been given, that's their role finished.
Right. And then so then you've got a choice as the receiver as to whether or not you want to keep it in your life.
Yeah, that's right. And then you've got a choice of whether you'd like to re-gift it, whether you'd like to donate it, whether you'd like to pass it on to somebody who you feel would really appreciate it and really benefit from it. It's a little bit like inherited items as well.
Yeah.
Because people sometimes have things up in their loft and they go, oh yeah, that's great auntie such a body's lamp that we inherited, and it's really nice. Well, it's really expensive, and it'll be yours when I go. And you're like going, really? If you love it enough, why is it in the loft?
Yeah.
But also, if it's in the loft because you're not keen on it, however, the next generation actually really like it, then give it to them now.
Yeah.
Because they can then have more enjoyment from having it in their home, and that they're enjoying it.
Yeah.
So you're not having that guilt that it's up in the loft.
A very good point, Janine. Yeah, that's gosh, I'm starting to think about the stuff in our loft, because when we only moved to our house about 3 and a bit years ago, and we started off on the premise that there was going to be nothing in the loft, nothing.
Yeah.
But if you go in our loft now, it's about half full. Now, part of that is because one of my bonus daughters is in the process of buying a place, and then she's going to be, so she's moved her stuff that she wants, but it's just got to be stored for a while, and she doesn't want to incur storage charges. But there's loads of stuff out there that we really need to have a look through. Okay, so how can I work out, or how can anyone work out whether we've got a problem with clutter or not? How do you kind of go about tackling that with clients?
It's sometimes the client has to have that self-realization,
right,
that actually they need to do something about their home, and that they can't move about freely, or they're always tripping over things. It doesn't necessarily have to be masses of clutter. It can just feel like it's beginning to own you. And one of the key indicators is that you stop asking friends round to your home. Because deep down, you're a bit embarrassed and you don't want them to see you living like that.
Right.
And, I have a client, and it was her friend actually who sent me a message, and it was just simply, thank you, Janine, for changing my friend's life.
Oh.
And that was because the lady had actually reached out and I supported her and helped her through. And she didn't want anybody around to begin with, and was very embarrassed. But when I went in, I was like, oh, it's not that bad, actually. So it's different people's perceptions.
Yes.
And different people's feelings.
Yes.
But generally, it's when you can't keep on top of things.
Right.
So and everybody leads such busy lives now.
Yeah.
So when you come in from the shop or you come in from work, you dump your bag down.
Yeah.
Does it stay there?
Yep.
Or do you actually empty everything out and put everything away straight away?
Right. Okay.
Or do you do that clean sweep if someone is coming, which I was guilty of. because clutter's been part of my journey. And it's where, you know, you go around, you pick up everything, put it all in one of those huge supermarket carrier bags, put it in a cupboard or in a spare room and go, I'll sort that out after the
later.
But later never comes, and before you know it, you've got 6 of these bags to go through, and then it becomes overwhelming. Right. But there is something called the clutter image scale.
Oh, right, okay.
And that shows you photographs of different rooms. So you've got like the lounge, the dining room, kitchen, obviously bedrooms, and it shows various photographs of clutter. And you tick the level that you feel you are. Right. And that will let you know whether you are actually a hoarder or whether it is clutter.
Okay.
But you can also be addicted to clutter and not be a hoarder.
Interesting. So what would your definition of a hoarder be? And why do you think hoarding comes about? I mean, we've got a close family member, I won't name him or her, but who has a lot of stuff. I mean, and it keeps on getting collected, and it's not diminishing, it's getting bigger. And he or she doesn't have people round to his or her home. You know, so I'm just wondering, sort of like, where does it start, this hoarding thing?
Hoarding and clutter actually starts from generally trauma.
Trauma, right.
And that can be something that's been a life-changing trauma. It can be a change in circumstances. It can be a new job. It can be an accident. It can actually be positive trauma as well.
See, yeah, because I don't think of a new job as being trauma, but I suppose it is a change, isn't it? And it's hard for us to deal with change.
Yes.
Although change is inevitable. It's the one inevitable thing about life apart from death.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. So, okay. Cool.
By that positive trauma, it could be life-changing situations such as having a baby. But then also at the other end of that, if a child leaves home, that can be trauma to somebody.
Yes. Yeah.
And that child has actually, say, gone to university. Yeah. So they've moved away from home. So there's a sense of loss. Yeah. But there's still things at the parents' house that belong to the child, because obviously they don't take everything when they go to university. No. And now it's a case of they don't know what to do. So things then start to build up. Right. So anything can trigger it.
Right. That's a really interesting idea. Okay, so it's a kind of life event that starts it, and then I suppose it either carries on growing, or you kind of or you make a change, and somebody might come to you, and then how would you talk with a client about, you know, what's your approach?
I sit down and chat with them. I'll tell them part of my story as well. And I think because I share that people that then relate a little bit more.
Yes.
And think, actually, you know, she's gone through similar.
Yeah.
And then I'll find out about their journey in conversation. I show that I am interested in them. And I do it in a very empathetic way, and a very soft way, and a fun way. And you can tell as people are going through a session, you can actually see the body language changing, and we have a laugh. And you know, after I've been working with somebody a while, I just need to give a little look, and they're like, yeah, okay. But I find out about what's happened to them and what they would like to see in the future.
Yes.
Because you need to have that vision and that dream to know where to aim for.
Yes. Yeah. And so why did you come into this work, Janine? So can you share a little bit about your story?
Yes, certainly. I was, in a previous life, I was a bank manager, and it was getting really stressful, very stressful. I'd moved about quite a bit, and more work was being piled on, and my marriage wasn't going well. I had two young girls, and things just started to get on top of me. And it got to the stage where initially it was a little pile in the corner of the room, which was maybe about 10 things. Part of my brain was going, it's only going to take 5 minutes to put those away. Get up and get it done.
Yeah.
The other half, which sadly was stronger, was going, you're not doing anything. I'm not going to let you get up off the sofa. And it was that side of the depression that actually built up to the point where my spare room looked a little bit like Monica's closet from Friends, if you remember that.
Yes, yeah.
And with support, I got made redundant as well. And with support, I'd lost a lot of my confidence. So I went on a local course for confidence for women. And then I decided this needs to be sorted out. It's on my mind too much. I'm going to do just 3 things. So every time I went past the room, I'd put just 3 things away.
Right.
And then I found that as my confidence and my energy increased, I was then purposely going into that room.
Yes.
To do 3 things on my way to do something else.
Yes. Yes.
And eventually I did get to the bottom of it, and you could see the desk and use the desk, and it became a usable room again.
Right. Lovely. Yeah. Great. Oh, well, thank you for sharing. It sounds like it was really tough at the time, but it was. But you've taken the positive out of it and looked at what you needed to do, and then you're out there helping other people.
Yeah, and I love it. I love helping other people, because what I was finding was once I'd been made redundant, I was ill for a while, but then I couldn't actually find a job that suited my needs. I'd gone from bank manager to what felt like nothing to needing a job that was now part-time, school hours, term time, and I couldn't get one.
No.
So I started just helping other people, really, just helping friends. If they said, I just need to sort the kids' books out, I'd be like, come on then, let's go and do it now. Let's do it.
Brilliant. I love that energy. I think I probably could do with you in our house, actually. So tell me, can you give us a story about sometimes why people hang on to something? Because I suppose because did you? So I love this idea. You said to me, sometimes people keep hold of things because they're angry. That you mentioned to me just before the program started.
Yeah.
That's so fascinating.
I know, and it's because they were so cross with something when it was given to them under the circumstances that they're just like, I'm going to keep that. Right. But it sucks your energy out of you.
Yes.
And one client had something for at least 15 years. And I asked, why are you keeping it if it's making you, upset? And so she told me, and I said, right, okay. And she just went, it's time to shred it. And she did.
Right.
And I said,
I
said, how do you feel now? And she said, it's gone.
Yeah.
And that's from what you were saying before about, releasing those energies and those intentions into the universe as well.
Yeah.
So it can be sentimental things that somebody had and has passed down to you, and you feel obliged to keep it, but it's not bringing a good memory back for you.
Right. So it
but
needs
you
to
feel
be
obliged to keep it.
Good memories. You want good memories around you, is that?
Yes. Yeah, because it lifts you. It lifts your vibrations. It makes you happier. If you look at, say, a lamp that you have, for instance.
Yeah.
If you look at it and every time you look at it, you just think, I do like that. It's nice and cozy. I've got my big plant next to it. I like the photograph next to it. It makes you feel good about yourself.
Yes.
As if you're looking at something that you just think, you're not really thinking about it.
No.
Do you actually need it in your life?
Yeah. That is a very, very good thing. I'm thinking about lots of things actually that we could look at. So, and is there a way that what way do you see your work developing as well, Janine? Sort of how?
I'm actually currently writing a masterclass course.
Oh.
And sorry, I'm just going to plug in. There we go. I'm currently writing a masterclass course, and that will be so people can actually follow the course through
Yep.
at their own time.
Yep.
And I'm also writing a book on decluttering with children.
Ah.
And I would love for my business to become a social prescriber.
Yes. Wouldn't
So
that be
that's
amazing?
where, people may go to the GP because they're struggling, because they may have depression or anxiety. But once they have that conversation with the GP and it comes out that actually it's to do with my home, they can then refer them to me, and I can go in and give them that level of support that they need to get the house back in order and for the house to work for them.
Yeah. So important, is it? Because the energies of our house are just incredibly important. How it makes us feel. Do we feel nurtured and loved in our house, or and because it's a kind of almost like it's a two-way relationship. I think the more we love our houses and they love us back, then it that kind of works. That's the best.
Yeah, and my mantra for my business is clear home, clear head, clear heart.
Lovely.
Because by having a clearer home, it opens up your mind, because it's not cluttered with everything that you're thinking, I need to put that away, I need to go and sort that, I need to sort the spare room.
Absolutely.
Which then makes you more creative, more productive. It gives you more energy. And that then opens your heart to abundance. And that doesn't mean more material things. It can mean the simple things, like a friend calling you and saying, do you fancy going for a coffee now?
Yeah.
And you just being able to say, yeah, that would be lovely. Rather than, oh no, I've got all this to do, I've got all this to tidy up.
Yeah. Right. Well, that's a wonderful moment to end with, Janine. And so thank you so much for all your guidance and wisdom on living abundantly and, loving ourselves, loving our homes, and how we can do that better. That's great. Well, thanks so much, everybody, for listening in. Please hit the subscribe button. We'd love to have you join with this channel. And thanks again, Janine. We'll put your details about how to contact Janine in Manchester down in the information down here. And thanks very much, and happy decluttering all.
Thank you.
Thanks, Janine.